So ahead of next week's NATO summit over in Turkey, the U.S. and Iran wrapping up talks in Doha as President Trump touts progress with negotiations. Watch.
As far as things are going, the denuclearization of Iran is moving along well. They've had very good meetings, and we'll see. We hit them very hard for 3 nights, as you know, but we're getting along very well. So I call it the denuclearization, and it's all taking place. It's all going well.
Here to discuss it is U.S. Ambassador to NATO Matt Whitaker. Ambassador, what do you expect the tone and tenor to be next week?
Well, at the summit that we have in NATO, I mean, obviously, I think it's going to be a good news story. I think we can point to European allies spending a lot more money on their own defense and therefore making NATO stronger. I think, a lot of that money is being spent in the United States, about $60 billion last year, and back orders of over $300 billion. And we're announcing a bunch of business deals on the sidelines of the summit. But, President Trump was very frustrated during Epic Fury, especially at the start, where we had either allies that didn't cooperate with our use of our own bases, or even and more importantly, were very negative on the efforts politically with their statements. And I think that was incredibly frustrating for many of us that know, to President Trump's point, that he made the world better with Iran not being on a path to getting a nuclear weapon. And so we have to make sure that our allies are with us politically and militarily at all times, because that's how, we're strong and capable as ourselves, but we are stronger and even more capable when our allies are alongside of us.
I mean, we only asked to use our own bases, and then if you had a minesweeper, you could send them. They didn't. So the one that still said no and benefited from politically domestically is Spain. Has anyone else come around among our NATO allies?
Yeah, I think the UK has been, after the first few days where they made it difficult and probably messed up some of our operations that we were able to, of course, because we can project power from anywhere, we're able to overcome. I think most of our allies, in fact, all of our allies in NATO countries are allowing us the basing and access and overflight that we need. But that's a conversation, that's also going to be a part of this review that Secretary Hegseth mentioned when he was here in Brussels a couple of weeks ago. And that 6-month review includes basing review. It includes how we're postured here in Europe, and also is going to include, how our troops are treated in these countries where they're stationed. And so it's going to be an overall good conversation. I think it started off very well. But, we need to make sure that when we do the next Epic Fury, that we can have very clear deal in place, that we don't have to quibble or be blocked by some of our allies.
And by the way, Epic Fury, they just, Europe signed off on snapback sanctions. They knew Iran was violating everything. We're the ones who took action, that's all. And just real quick, before we talk about the fun stuff in FIFA, I do want people at home to understand how much more we are spending than everyone else. Get this. We're spending almost $1 trillion, $900 billion, compared to the next one would be the UK, about $90 billion. So it's not even close. When NATO says we can live without America, there's no substance to that. Look at that. Yeah. So meanwhile, the other thing to keep in mind, too, is when President Trump comes over, he's got a major decision to make. Is he going to sell Turkey our F-35s, knowing they're using the S-300 Russian missile defense system? They have to scrap that before we give them our planes. Don't you agree?
Yeah, well, and to put a finer point on that, obviously you don't want Russian air defenses to be able to practice against American advanced fighter aircraft like the F-35s. And so, that's a conversation I know my friend Tom Barrack has been having very closely with the Turks to make sure not only we have a successful summit next week in Ankara, but also to make sure that they are a good and capable ally. So I think we'll work through that. President Trump is a master negotiator, and he'll be able to cut a really good deal that's in the interest of the American people.
Ambassador, you're over in Europe, right? But here in America, we have a lot of Europeans here watching the World Cup. What's your take as you see them really enjoying our country, maybe things that we take for granted? What are your thoughts seeing that?
Well, I mean, it's amazing. First of all, I have a lot of people that were late to work today because they stayed up to watch the U.S. Play last night against Bosnia, and that game was on in the middle of the night, and obviously the next game's going to be on in the middle of the night, and it's kind of funny to see as countries are knocked out how that affects their attitudes. But yeah, people are enjoying the United States of America because it's an awesome place, and we have extraordinary things like Buc-ee's, like Chick-fil-A, just some very convenient to eat in your car as you're, having a phone call. I mean, it's an amazing country, and I'm glad that people are finally, kind of discovering what real America is. Being from Des Moines, Iowa, obviously, I like it when they see places outside of New York and Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles.
Absolutely, but they seem to even like that, too. Ambassador, you're doing a great job. I know the president really appreciates you, and I look forward to seeing you when this high-stakes summit takes place.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.